Hi everybody, and thanks for joining me today. So I will start with putting up my picture of where we are working on in the pattern with that outlined, and we will carry on from there. So yeah, thankfully my last video worked successfully, so hopefully those technical difficulties are behind me for a bit. Okay, so once again, this is kind of going a bit more vertical just because of the way the colors are going. Although still, you can see somewhat diagonal. My biggest thing being that I try not to close stuff in. Oh, there's one parked there. My gosh, I tell you. And it was marked too that I parked it, but ay caramba. My brain is not awake apparently. Yeah, so if you hear some sounds in the background, that's my kid playing video games. He's playing I think it's called Mud Runner. It's a simulation off-road game he and his dad really like. Yeah, they have one that's Mud Runner and one that's Snow Runner, made by the same company. And yeah, you get to customize vehicles and try to figure out if you can get through bogs and up mountains and stuff like that. So yeah, they quite enjoy it. And you can't just reset too. If you get stuck, you actually have to like get out your avatar and go and get another vehicle to come winch it out and stuff. So it's not just, oh, that failed. Okay, try again, reset the simulation. Nope, it's actually more realistic. Or you can run out of gas too, so you have to make sure you carry enough jerry cans and stuff. And yeah, my husband had one vehicle. He said that was it was pretty good, but the problem was it was a bit high, and so the center of gravity was high and it would tip over quite easily. So yeah, but yeah, you get to earn coins and pay for power-ups and things, and yeah, they quite enjoy it. I don't know, sim games aren't really my thing. I like something with a story, or I really like time management games on computers. Like Farm Frenzy. I own pretty much every one of those games, stuff like that. Okay. Yeah, I can see I'm going to have a lot of threads of this color here. Okay. Yeah, or like immersive world, but with a story like Legend of Zelda, Final Fantasy, that kind of thing. I was never into the Sims and such. Well, different things for different people, right? Yeah. I'm sure there's plenty of people who wouldn't be able to do this for extended periods either. They might get bored, so. Yeah, lots of parked threads in this area. Just add more and more. Yeah, we've played a Mario Kart together. It was funny, we had some friends over a while back, and so my son and her daughter, who are about close to the same age, were playing Mario Kart together, and they both picked the same avatar. They were actually playing the battle ones where you have to like try to knock pop the other team's balloons, because you have like 4 balloons attached to your vehicle, and then yeah, you have to try and pop the opposite team's balloons before yours get popped. I am not good at that mode. Camera spins around so quickly that I can't stay oriented of where I am and where they are, so I'm just kind of blindly driving around and chucking things, hoping I pop somebody else's balloons. Oh dear. Yeah, there was a couple of tracks on this, I think it's Mario Kart 8 is the one we have for the Switch. There's a couple of tracks I can't play because they have this like spinning stuff that goes around the track and it makes me dizzy. Yeah, I get motion sick quite easily. Even from just visual stimuli, so yeah, like there was a, we were playing Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild, and there was one big battle where you fight the boss and it can tilt. It creates like a bunch of rolling balls as the hazard or whatever, what it's trying to kill you with, and then it tilts the surface that you're on, and they roll around. You have to try to, I couldn't watch my husband playing it because it was just like, oh, made me so nauseated. So yeah, I sat there and I read a book while I waited for him to beat it so we could see what the next cutscene was for this story. Yeah, that was I quite enjoyed that because it was non-linear play, so you could do side quests and stuff without it bugging you. Like, that was one thing that annoyed me with Ocarina of Time, was constantly Navi, your fairy helper, is always constantly bugging you to go to the next thing in the quest, even if you're trying to do side quests and such. She's always, listen, go here, go there. And it's like, kind of like, okay, can you just be quiet? I'm busy, you know? And it's supposed, of course, to help you, guide you through the game. But yeah, it's kind of frustrating if you want to explore a bit, do some side quest stuff and not do the main story just yet. And she's constantly bugging you to get back on track. So that was one thing I really liked with the follow-up Majora's Mask, because yeah, again, like I said, it was non-linear, and you could like a good 2/3 of the game was side quests. Yeah, little quests for you to earn masks and things to please people in your logbook, because I think there were like 30 masks. So yeah, it was quite a lot, or some of them were pieces of heart and things like that. So yeah, it was quite enjoyable. I really liked that one. I was quite amazed too, because they said they only had a year to develop that one. And yes, they reused a lot of the avatars and such, but they still had to write like a new story and everything. So yeah, it was pretty amazing they put it together that fast. And there is still stuff I'm finding out about it that I didn't know. Yeah, I've been watching a series by LooygiBros. They did a series on Ocarina of Time. They do series on all sorts of Nintendo games, but yeah, like, you know, 10 things you didn't know. And then the next video will be like 14 things you didn't know. And I'll watch the videos and there'll be at least half of them. I'll be like, oh no, I knew that. I knew that. But then at least once every video, they'll show me something and I'm like, oh, I didn't know that. I played it multiple times, but you guys still caught something that I didn't know. So yeah, it's kind of fun. It's pretty amazing considering it's a, you know, over 20-year-old game. Actually, it's over 25 now. Man, time does fly. Yeah, my husband introduced me to that game. We weren't really allowed gaming systems when I was a kid, so I always had to play at friends' houses. Yeah, I said we weren't allowed them when I was growing up, so now I have like 6 consoles. Yeah, because I'm an adult, I can, so there. Yeah, so as you can see, I'm kind of making a straight line here because of the way the colors in that pillar are just kind of, pardon me, naturally going in a straight line, so. Okay, this one is not a very long piece, so that will influence what I do with it. Yeah, we're going to have a whack ton of this color thread attached. I think that's just the way it works out sometimes. Oh my gosh, there we go. Yeah, whenever I stitch this shadowy side, it's all these purples mixed in. Always seems like it should be wrong, but then when you stand back and look at the whole thing, it works. Yeah, I saw one where a lady said when you went up close, she was stitching. It was a woman sitting at a desk, and her leg under the table was in shadow, and it was like this maroons and colors and stuff. And she just thought, man, it totally looks like it should be wrong. But once you had it stitched up and backed up, it looked perfect. Yeah, it's interesting how it can take colors that you don't you don't expect to create that effect. I guess that's why a lot of people have to go to art school, because I would never have figured that out. Yeah, my son takes art class as one of his electives, because it was you could take band or drama or arts. So he took arts. And yeah, he's done some pretty good drawings with perspective in them that are, I find, quite impressive, because that's definitely not something I'm good at. It was funny because he drew this picture that had guys sitting up on a steel beam. So my husband drew a guy on the end, kind of like he's falling off. So my son drew a net underneath. So he says, that way if he falls, he won't get hurt. So cute. It's such an in-character thing for him to do. I was the same as a kid. You know, don't hurt him, even though it's a stuffed animal, right? Or yeah, even when I was grown up, when he was a toddler and he would leave the stuffed animal lying on the floor, if it was in an awkward looking position, I would have to make it more comfortable, because I couldn't just leave it with its arm like twisted behind its back or whatever. It just, yeah, it looked wrong. So yeah, or I remember one time he said his stuffed animals were hurt. So he found some sandwich bags and he put ice cubes in them to make ice packs for the stuffed animals. It was so cute. Oh, I think, yeah, that one looks like I didn't get in quite the right spot there. Yeah, I missed it a little bit. I find with darker colors, you kind of can't fudge it as easily. There'll be a little bit of the background color showing through, and yeah, you can see it. So there. Okay, now I found the right spot. There we go. Yeah. That's better. Oop. Let's not get knots on the back. Okay, so these ones I'm going to set aside for now, because I'm kind of not doing, yeah, kind of cutting it off right here. And I'll come back and do that part later. When I do, after I fill this in, I'll come back and do that. Yeah, that's what I usually do. And then I do the pillars mostly vertical, and then I go back to diagonal as I get into the main part of the design where the colors are not going vertically. The only problem with this vertical style stitching is I find I have to go sometimes a fair amount down the diagonal so that I can fill it in to come back up and fill that part in. So sometimes I work almost kind of from the bottom up. It just depends. But either way, it eventually gets filled in. Okay, now I think this is the short one that is pretty much done here. Yeah. Well, I might another stitch out of it. That might be about it. Or sometimes what I will do as I move down, I will put these aside, but I'll leave them threaded and then come back to them later. But then if they're on a separate magnet, they're less likely to tangle. So yeah, sometimes I will do that. Pardon me, just split them up a little bit. That's why I have so many magnets. Okay, so those. Yeah, so I got a lot done yesterday. Got over 700 done. Because there was like only 2 colors in the very bottom of that diagonal, so that went pretty quick. Yeah, sure wish I could make that kind of progress every day. That'd be pretty cool. Yeah, I mean, I don't consider myself too slow of a stitcher, but man, some people, they sure put me to shame. Yeah, some people are super fast. Or that's like my grandma in knitting. She can cast on stitches where her hands are practically a blur. I could never figure out, she would do the long tail cast on, which uses like 2 strands. And yeah, just watching her, she's just like that. I was like, whoa. Because there I am, like sort of, okay, put the needle in, pull the stitch, okay, put it on, put the needle, pull the stitch, you know, to cast on each stitch, it takes me 10, you know, she can do 10 stitches in the time it takes me to do 1 or 2. Yeah, I learned the basics from her, and then I learned more advanced stuff online. Yeah, it's sure nice to have that kind of resources, right? Yeah, I'm always grateful for people putting how-to videos up, even for the simplest things, because yeah, it sure can help. Yeah, like somebody said, there was somebody on Reddit who said they had never ordered a Subway sandwich before, and they were really anxious about it, and how did they do it? And somebody wrote out like step-by-step instructions without making fun of them or anything. It's like, it sure is nice. You know, there can be so many awful people online sometimes, but then there's good people too, you know. It's nice to see nobody was like making fun of him or, you know, saying he should already know how to do it. It was with this sort of understanding that, hey, you know what? It's a skill we had to learn too. How can you learn if nobody teaches you, right? Yeah. Okay. So this one is long enough. I may carry it down to the left a bit. Yes, this is a longer one. And that will make up for that other one that I'm about to end off. Anyway, I love when that works out. So I do have to carry it a bit, but not too far. It's only about a 1/2 inch. That's still less to me than ending and restarting. That would take up more thread. So... yeah, it's like I've learned so many things. You know, people think, oh, wow, you're so smart. It's like a lot of times I'm just Googling stuff. Like I remember I had an issue with my computer where I was trying to run updates and it wouldn't work. You know, you would tell it to scan for updates and it would be stuck saying that it was scanning for updates for hours, and it shouldn't take that long. You know, it should take maybe 20 minutes at the most. And that was one thing I Googled, like how long should it take for my computer to check for updates? And it'd run all day. So then I finally sat down and I, you know, typed just into Google, like, computer never finishes checking for updates. And boom, I found this. If you're having this problem, go here, download this, install that, and it should work. So I tried it and boom, there it was. I didn't have to understand anything about how it worked. It just, yeah, that was apparently a common flaw in the programming, and there was the patch for it. You just had to know where to ask. Oh gosh, it was so funny one time. I was trying to clear my cache and delete my cookies because sometimes if your computer's, you know, your browser's having problems with that, it can really help. And so I'm like, okay, well, where are the cookies for me to clear them? I don't know. And so I keep Googling about it, and it just keeps telling me like what cookies are and what they're used for and why. And I'm like, I don't need to know that. You know, I just need to know how to get rid of them, how to wipe them so it can restart. And so finally I had enough, and I typed into Google, you know, delete effing cookies. And then boom, that was the first. It said, so I'm not the only person who was that frustrated that they typed in that phrase. Oh dear. Oh, it was funny. Oh gosh, there was like one I saw as a joke about making a password, and it was like password, and the person puts in cabbage, and it says your password must contain one letter. So it says one cabbage, and it says your password can't contain any spaces, you know, and it's like, so then they put one cabbage is one word, and your password has to contain, so it's like one boil, and by the end it says, you know, 50 boiled cabbages shoved up your nose if you don't give me access now. And then, sorry, that password has already been taken. Oh, it's like, yeah, we've all been there, hey? Oh. Yeah, so the frustrating thing is, you know, they want you to make your password so complicated that by the end, there's no way you're going to remember it. You basically have to write it down, which is kind of defeats the whole purpose. Yeah, my husband finally taught me about password storage or whatever, like apps and things, because yeah, who can remember so many passwords, right? Even, or like you might have a few with variations, but which variation did you use for what website or whatever, or what account? Oh my gosh. Or my favorite, when you can't remember, you can't recover your password, so you have to reset it, and then it says, you know, password cannot be same as the old password. It's like, but I was guessing that, and you said it was incorrect, and now you say it was an old password. Like, oh my gosh. Oh. Yeah, on my iPhone, they have like the face scan you can use instead of a password, but then half the time it doesn't recognize you. I actually found the fingerprint scan was more reliable, but they got rid of it and made it the face scan, which I said was pretty irritating too. When you're out and about wearing a mask, it can't recognize you. I'm like, well, I guess I'll never forget my passcode because I end up having to enter it in a lot more than I used to with my old phone with using my thumbprint. Yeah, like I said, the face scan is okay, but I kind of wish it gave you the option to also have, because my husband's Samsung, it doesn't have like a button, but it does make a little circle for you to use a fingerprint to open it. So yeah, kind of like that feature. Okay. Just kind of jumping all around here. Okay, so I put those aside, but actually looks like I may use them still. I think we're going to split it about here. Yeah. So far I haven't had to reset yet and take all my needles off. We'll see how far my luck holds. Yeah, when doing vertically, I tend to work more from the bottom up of the diagonal than the top down. It's just how it kind of happens to work. Actually, how long is this one? Do I want to cross as I go or not? Oh, I'm gonna knot across as I go. Have the thread end up back where I started. There's more stitches up there than there are further down, so. And I'd rather bring this back up and use it up first and then add more down below than have to add extra here and end up with too many lower down. Not that I mind a lot of threads, but if I can avoid adding another one before I finish off another, then that's what I'll do. Yeah, it really cooled down last night. We had the windows open. So it's supposed to be a hotter day today, but it ended up cooling down so much, I don't think I'm going to need to use my air conditioning, knock on wood. I think there's enough cool air in the house right now. The temperature will just be a normal temperature range by the time we hit the daytime high. Yeah, save a little energy. Yeah, I find there is a huge difference between my energy bills in the winter versus in the summer. Because, I mean, in the winter, you got to run that heat. Otherwise, you'll freeze to death. Your pipes will freeze and burst. That would not be good. So, yeah, when it gets really cold, then like the -50 cold snaps. And yes, that's -50 Celsius. To give you an idea, Fahrenheit and Celsius are the same at -40. -40 in Celsius is -40 in Fahrenheit. So, yeah. And, yeah, when it's like that, the furnace almost never switches off because it is just that cold. Yeah, I was actually reading that they have that problem in Australia, that their houses are not very well insulated. So the heat never kicks off, even though it doesn't get anywhere near as cold as it does here in their winter. But yeah. They said nowadays with the gas prices what they are, people cannot afford to keep the house warm, and they're like just barely above freezing. So yeah. Yeah, that is one nice thing here. The houses are insulated well. Well, this house wasn't great when we bought it. We had to add some because it had only R15 and now it's like R40. So I don't know a lot about it, but I do know the higher numbers means it's more efficient. So let's take a look here. Okay. Where I want to go. All right, so yeah, I'm gonna go there. Oh my gosh. Okay, not having luck there. So I was trying to slide my fingers down to the end to pinch the thread together. It kept on misaligning. That was interesting. That was a funny video somebody showed me once by Axis of Awesome 4 chords. I'll try and put a link in there if I remember it, but how basically almost every pop song has the same 4 chords. And yeah, so they start off singing, you know, Don't Stop Believing. And then they just seamlessly switch into the next song and they do about, 20 or 30 songs. Yeah, it was quite funny. But yeah, I kind of already knew that because I took guitar lessons for a while and noticed that it was the same chord progression for like 90% of the songs. yeah, I guess it's just, that's something that's universally pleasing to the human ear. So, of course, we switched to it. Just like I remember when I was a kid, I noticed almost every country song ends on the same note, the same chord. Yeah. Or said how many, you know, hymns end with, they call it the amen chord. Yeah. Just certain, certain combinations provoke certain emotions. Actually, it was really fascinating. I remember there was one saying that there are certain frequencies that give you a feeling of dread and you're not like consciously aware of it. And so they actually discovered that in a concert they did, where if, yeah, they played songs that were at these certain, or sounds that were, people would feel like their hair stand on end and just feel like something very ominous was about to happen. And so yeah, and I was reading that one of the reasons so many of these old houses felt haunted and sort of like spiritualism and ghosts and stuff sort of really exploded during the Victorian and Edwardian eras was because that was when people started being able to get electricity in their homes and the lights would vibrate at that certain frequency. And so, yes, you would be walking along the hall and the lights are flickering and it's this frequency and your body just responds of, ooh, there's something creepy here, you know? And of course you got cold drafts blowing because, you know, old Victorian houses, of course there are. And so, yeah, they said that's one of the reasons why people would become convinced all these houses were haunted is potentially because of these certain frequencies and the way they interact with, you know, the way we perceive them. Our physiology picks them up and senses them as certain. Yeah, so I just thought that was really interesting. Because, yeah, I mean, you don't really realize how much sounds can really influence your feelings. Like, but then if you've been watching a movie and you watch the deleted scenes and it doesn't have the sound effects or the soundtrack behind it, the emotional punch is not the same as when it is, right? So yeah, I found that really quite fascinating. Yeah, it's like, you know, it's manipulative of your emotions, and yet that's why we like it, right? Yeah, you want to feel something. So yeah, I thought that was pretty interesting. Yeah, I wouldn't mind one of these days doing a haunted house tour. I think when I was younger that would have freaked me out, but now it wouldn't bother me. I just think it's pretty cool. Okay. Yeah, although somebody said, you know, we need some more modern ghosts instead of some, you know, Victorian child who, you know, died of whooping cough. Let's have some, you know, kid throwing his controller against the wall because he can't beat Duck Hunt. Oh man, Duck Hunt, and that little jerk of a dog laughing at you when all 3 of your shots missed. Oh yeah. They said, yeah, little kids these days will never know that frustration of that ruddy little dog laughing at you. Yeah, it's funny because they re-released like a lot of these Super Mario games. You can play them on, you know, Super Nintendo and such. But Duck Hunt was one that came free with the system and you can't get it anymore. I'm guessing they'd be quite a collector's item by now. Yeah, the clay shooting ones was the hardest setting and it didn't have the dog laughing at you, but yeah. Yeah, that one was really hard. I think that was only a 1-player game too, so it didn't get played as much. Yeah, it was funny. One year my son dressed up as Luigi And somebody said, oh, did they run out of Mario costumes? Because, you know, the kids always want to be Mario. And I said, no, he wanted Luigi because his favorite color is green. So, and it actually worked out because his friend dressed as Mario that year. And they hadn't even planned it, so they were Mario and Luigi. So, yeah, it's pretty cool. It even came with a little inflatable pillow for you to put down the front so he had, like, a padded belly. Yeah, it's pretty funny. And then one year he was, he had one of those inflatable costumes. So it was Mario riding on Yoshi's back. So your legs were Yoshi's legs, right? And then it had fake inflatable legs coming out of the waist. So it looked like, yeah, the Mario on top was riding the Yoshi. Yeah, my son loves Yoshi. That's like his favorite character. Yeah, he has a little stuffy yellow one and a green one. Well, he got the yellow one because we were trying to buy him one as a gift, but they said they have equal numbers of all the colors at the store that get shipped to the store, and of course everybody wants the green one, right? So they go first. I said you would think they should ship like half of the shipment green, and then the rest of the shipment, you know, the purple, yellows, blues, all those colors, but yeah, so when we went on another major shopping trip, I think we went to about 4 or 5 different of those Nintendo kind of stores to finally find him a green Yoshi. So he actually has the yellow, he calls it yellow Yoshi, and then the green one he calls Greenie. Yeah, I actually found it quite amusing. They had some ones of the dry bones that you could get in some of the levels of Mario 3, where it's they're like the Koopas, but they're skeletons, and you could jump on them and make them collapse, but then they'd come back to life after a while. They were like haunted, so yeah. Yeah, I kind of wanted one, but they're not cheap, those little toys, because they're like official Nintendo merchandise. So, oh, I got for 1 year, last year I got for our Christmas tree, I got an official Nintendo yellow star topper for our tree. So yeah, that was quite fun. And I said I'd put it up, and it's like, okay, I can hear this picture, right? Yeah, my sister says, oh, I feel like I should run around your house really fast so I don't miss anything, right? Says, you know, me runs around, flips over coffee table, woohoo, I'm invincible. Yeah, they also had ones that were the Triforce from Legend of Zelda, but I said I felt the stars more fitting to go on the tree. So, yeah, we had an angel for years, but I like my Nintendo star. Had to go on eBay to find it. I tried buying a knockoff one year, and they sent me this ridiculous piece of styrofoam that looked nothing like the picture. So, yeah, the picture, it looked like something that, you know, lights up, and then the styrofoam I got was like this blocky, you know, cut out of, yeah, foam rubber or something. Yeah. Plus, it took so long to arrive that it was like after Christmas when I got it, so... Oh, gave it to my son to play with, but yeah, I went and found an actual official one off eBay. So that is our star topper now. I saw a really cool one somebody did where they had they made a giant Kirby cutout, and then they turned their little Christmas tree sideways as if the Kirby was swallowing the tree. Yeah, that was pretty cool. And they had a tiny little Nintendo star on the top too. So yeah, that was pretty cute. And the Kirby was wearing a Santa hat, of course. So yeah, it's funny because we were playing Mario Smash Brothers one time and I was Kirby. And so I kept on using his sucky power. My husband kept saying, stop eating me. Because he was Link, and Kirby kept swallowing him. And then spitting him out. And I said, and I swallowed him so many times that eventually it stole Link's hat, so Kirby had Link's hat on. Oh, it was fun. Take a look. Yeah, there are so many paths of this color that we end up with so many threads. But oh well. Yeah, a lot more dark purple here than I would have thought. Okay. Yeah, might be getting a bit too many needles on threads. We'll see. You can see it kind of goes in stripes, so after a while I end up sort of just working on one stripe and the one next to it doesn't get worked for a while. It's just the way it is. Actually, I think I can do this one and tie it off. Yes, because I knew that was a short one. So I'll do that and get it out of my way. Then I get a needle back. Oh, even with a fair amount of color changing, we still got a decent number of stitches done in less than an hour so far. Okay, and I think this one can be ended off as well. Yes. Perfect. Yeah, I add a lot of threads, but eventually some threads have to end too, so kind of all works out. Oh, thought that might be an empty needle, but it was not. Okay, just doing some preemptive detangling there. This one is just about done. Yep, I think, in fact, we will tie it off here. We'll add another after. Good place to use up some little pieces. Oh gosh. There, that was being a real pain. Did not want to come up in the right place. Okay. All right, it's a short little piece, so we'll just end this off, I think, rather than trying to park it anywhere yet. If there was sort of only one stitch by itself somewhere close enough by to do it with this thread, I would have parked it, but there isn't, so we will just tie it off. So we're coming close to the bottom here. I think I'm going down to about this one here, which is 360. Yeah, because we ended on row 300 last time, the last pass across this pattern. Oops, I was trying to select those ones. There we go. Okay. Wow. Yeah, I'm just blasting through this color here. I swear I only got a brand new 6 strand thread of this out like a couple hours ago, and I'm already on the last strand of it. Yeah. Well, as you can see, I still have 6,000 of this, over 6,000 of this color stitch to go, so. Yeah, we'll be going through quite a bit more before I am done. I think I unthreaded that one, but oh well. That happens sometimes. It's better than it snagging. Pardon me. I've had sometimes where the needle won't slide on the thread anymore because like the eye has kind of pierced it somehow. Yeah. Then you have to like cut it out, which really sucks. And that's thread that got wasted, right? Yeah, and I don't like wasting thread. Okay. Oh my. Yeah, there I go again. Yeah, unthreading needles. Yeah, there is a bit more threading with this method, but because I'm using multiple needles, not as much. I see one where people do this kind of thing with only one needle, and yeah, that is more threading than I like to do. Okay, so I think I'm going to wrap it up here pretty soon. And as usual, I want to thank you for joining me today. I hope that you enjoyed it, and I hope to see you here again another time. All right, thanks everyone. Bye.